Yo, it's your girl, Kenisha Pinckney, and you are about to watch my full interview on the Untold Interview.
What's up, Kenisha?
What's up?
What's going on? Just like that. Just like that. Just like that.
That's good.
I'm chilling. Welcome to the Untold Interview. You know what I'm saying?
Thanks for having me.
No
Appreciate
doubt.
it.
No doubt. No doubt. No doubt. One of the how I initially seen you was the movie Jenny. That's how I've really seen you. You had the short haircut.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's dive right into it. Where you from? You know, what part of the city that you from?
Yeah. I am from North Philly.
North.
Born and raised.
Okay. What part?
Like if you're familiar with like 16th and Cumberland.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much around there.
Okay.
Yeah, to the black people I say 16th and Cumberland. To the white people I say Temple University. You know, gotta let them feel like, you know, they're not dealing with anyone wild, you know.
Yeah.
A little polished individual.
Now let me ask you something. Like, how was your household? Was you raised single, or mom and dad was in the house?
Yeah, well, I was fortunately raised in a 2-parent household my entire life.
Okay.
I'm one of 9, and
Wow.
I come from a very big family.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of different personalities. So I like to say I learned how to deal with people and just, I really learned how to deal with people based on my siblings.
Right.
And my mom, strong black woman.
Okay.
Dad, strong black man. I don't know how they stayed together for so long.
Okay.
I think it's like 40-something years they pushing together.
Oh, that's nice.
Married, yeah.
I hope I make it that far.
Yeah, that's a goal. I hope to make it to something. Yeah.
Now living in North, like, how did that, shape who you are today?
I like to say there are some attributes that I have that will never go away because I'm from North.
Right.
Like, I keep my head on a swivel. Like, I'm very cautious. I don't trust people easily.
Yeah.
If I'm building relationships, friendships, they're genuine because, there aren't too many people that you can, connect with and just be around on a day-to-day basis. So in terms of just being strong and determined, I think being from North, it made me not want to stay in North.
Okay.
Because, I guess it's like Philly all over, but it wasn't too much there.
Right.
There's nothing aspiring to have, any places to go. So my goal was to just get out of North Philly, and my ticket out was school.
Okay.
So I went to college, and that snowballed into a plethora of things.
You went to what's that? Widener?
Yeah.
Widener
okay,
University.
Researcher. Okay.
Yeah, Widener University was in 2016.
I graduated 2015.
2015.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Communications.
Communication studies.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So now, I know you say you want to get out of North Philly and everything. As a child, did your family, like travel a lot? You guys, family reunions down South Carolina type stuff?
I wish. I do come from a very big family. We do have family in South, down South. We have family in New York.
Okay.
Different places. But it was really just me and my family. It was just really my immediates.
Okay.
We probably, because they were still in Philly, dealt with our aunts and our uncles and cousins and stuff like that. But it wasn't really no family reunions. All my family down South, we see them on major holidays.
Right.
Sometimes funerals. But no, it was just us. So when we did go somewhere, it was Atlantic City because that was like,
hey,
listen, it's right down the street. And it was just a breath of fresh air.
Right.
At the time, we had a timeshare.
Okay.
So we would go every year, every summer as a family. And just chill out there.
Now, why communications?
So when I was in high school,
Uh-huh.
it was this pressure on this senior project as to what you want to be when you grow up. I had no idea what the hell I wanted to be. So I chose, for some reason, a newscaster.
Oh.
I don't know where it came from. Could be my love for Oprah Winfrey at the time. Like, I was a big Oprah Winfrey.
The old Oprah?
The old Oprah with the curly, with the fro, with the curly fro.
Yeah.
A little heavyweight Oprah.
Yeah.
I was a fan of her. So I said, I'm going to be a news reporter. I get to school, and it's just like opened my whole horizon up.
Right.
Because at this time, I'm like, okay, it's more to broadcast than just being stiff in front of a camera.
Right.
You got, at this time, I'm looking at BT, I'm looking at all these different shows. Like, my mom was big on, like, True Hollywood Story and, like, Discovery and Time. What is that show? No, TV One. It was, like, a lot of different interview shows and stuff like that.
Right.
And they had a bit more personality. And I thought my personality was too big to be a news reporter. So as I was going through school and I'm becoming more like of a personality, I had my own little shows. I built shows. I hired people to produce my content and everything like that. And then I had professors who told me that I wouldn't really make it as a news reporter.
Hold on. So normally that happened like in middle school, high school.
That was happening to me in college. Because at the time you have to understand. Now, I've always been an avid reader. Bookworm, like reading books as big as Twilight, if you know the series.
Yeah.
Like, I'm reading like 2-3 of those per week. And I stayed in the library. So although, I was articulate, I wasn't like using my INGs. I wasn't like, my diction wasn't there.
Right.
I was a little too hood. I was a little too laxed. So I brought more personality than professionalism, I guess. Clean.
Right.
Type of talk. So I had to practice that. So how I fixed that was reading my books out loud.
Okay.
So that cleaned up some of my diction. But by that time, I already graduated college, and I'm like, well, if I can't be a news reporter, I'll figure out something else. I ended up just being in entertainment, which is much, much, much better.
Now, you was on the dean list.
Yes, I was on several lists my entire life.
That's hard to get on.
It is. What's interesting to me is that despite being on the dean's list, right? It was a phase in my college career where I was going through stuff, family-wise. My mom at the time was battling breast cancer.
Wow.
And I couldn't really afford to stay on campus anymore, so I had to get off campus housing. But instead of being off campus near my university, I was back in North. It was right down the street from my mom and dad's house. So I stayed there. So I would literally commute 4 hours a day alone. Then on top of that, I was working a full-time job as a supervisor at like a retail store. So I was juggling schoolwork, real work, life. And for that reason, I started to fall behind on grades in like 2 particular classes that really didn't mean anything to my newscaster career. But I think it was like a calculus class or something like that. I don't like me. I know I count bread though, but I ended up not passing. For some reason, it messed with my GPA at the very end towards like my senior year. So although I was on dean's list, I made a few lists actually.
Right.
I ended up not being able to walk. When folks were like, "Oh, I can't wait to graduate," I'm picking out my gown, picking out, this is what I'm going to do for graduation and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I can't even enjoy that with my friends because it was taken from me. They told me I couldn't graduate. I couldn't walk, but I ended up graduating to get it, but not until about 3 or 4 months later by myself.
How did that make you feel though?
It made me feel like everything I did went in vain because it wasn't my fault. I know that at heart, I'm a determined person. And I knew that there were like external forces that were holding me back. But then I still at that time blamed myself. Right. Because despite what's going on around me, it's like I'm in charge of me, and I should have been responsible for that. I didn't realize that until I got older, though. But I hated everybody at that school for taking away that moment because I was the first one in my family to go to college. I broke that whole generational curse, you know? And from that, my siblings were able to go to school too because they saw someone else do it.
Right.
So I felt like they ripped something from me, you know, something that I worked so hard for. Yeah.
On the brighter side, you was abducted to Lambada. Am I saying that right?
I was, yes, I even forget what it was, but it was a society for under communications.
Okay.
And me, you know, having high scholars there, you know, school grades there. So, it's crazy. I was there. I had proof. I was getting it.
Yeah.
They just didn't let me walk it. You know, I wrote a whole letter pleading my case. You would have thought I was writing to Santa Claus. I wrote a whole, oh my goodness. I wrote to the deans. I wrote to the president of the entire university. I was trying to get like signatures from different professors that, you know, saw me as someone that could walk. And they all just told me that I couldn't because if they let me pass, then it would mean other people would get away with it too. But I found later on that I don't think that was true. Because it was, you know, I ain't no snitch. But it was one particular person, and she was of lighter descent, who literally plagiarized her entire everything, senior thesis and everything, and the professors knew, and they still let her pass. So,
wow.
Yeah. It's just it's a cold world, but it taught me that you just gotta be colder.
Yeah.
You gotta be cold about you. You know.
You know, I used to go to Martin Luther King High School, and I don't know, college wasn't. It really wasn't my thing. You know what I'm saying? And college isn't for everybody.
It's not, and that's I believe in that too.
Yeah. You know, now growing up, you know, in Philly, you know, we have people like Jill Scott. We got, you know, the Roots and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
What was some of the, you know, music coming up that you listen to?
Just from Philly alone, or just like in general?
Let's marginalize it to Philly.
Yeah. Definitely Music Soul Child.
Okay.
I actually worked with musically. I worked with his producers.
You
Carvin
did
and
music.
Ivan. Yeah.
Carvin, shout out to Carvin Huygens. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's my guy.
Cool dude. Really like him. He's very passionate and bold.
Yeah.
But work with them. I love. I'm gonna say Black Deniro. I'm cracking up. You know, that's my partner, man. Like I gotta shout him out. He a Philly Greek.
Friend of the show.
Yeah. Like I don't know. In terms of like Philly artists, I haven't been, you know, Jill Scott is always going to be.
Yeah.
I love her. You know.
Now, okay, let's keep it on the global level.
Yeah.
Give me 3.
Anita Baker.
Ooh.
Fantasia. And Mary J. Blige.
That's a dope lineup.
Yeah.
I would thought you would say Patty.
I love Patty.
Okay.
But I think those 3 artists I connect with the most.
Okay.
Personality wise, song choice wise, just like overall feels. I grew up listening to Anita Baker, so it's like it's a given.
You
Mary
bring me
J.
joy?
Huh?
You bring me joy?
Everything. Yes, everything. You bring me joy, you know, the rapture of love, everything. Take me with you, please.
Now, you said you was working with Carvin, or you was in the studio with Carvin. What were you doing in the studio with him?
So for those who don't know, I actually started off in a girl group, and we were called Aviance. We were together for like about 10, 12-ish years.
Okay.
And I learned everything musically by being in that group. I started off as a solo artist. All right. But that was very short-lived. I started off, I'll go all the way back. I always wrote. So I was always a poet. I was published. I was a published poet. And then I found that I had a voice, and then I started singing. And then I created a few songs. And I randomly one day with my mom, I wasn't supposed to go. She got invited to a photo shoot party. I've never heard of that before, but it's so dope. Like, apparently they do it more often now, where it's like, you know, you want to take photos, it's music, it's makeup artists, and it's stuff, it's food, it's drinks.
Right.
So I went there for the first time, and my mom was like, hey, you want to go with me? Because my friend can't go. I'm like, Mom, you're like, how much older than me? And how many, like, I don't want to be around your friends. But she invited me anyway, and they were cool. I go back to get my makeup done. And the makeup artist is like, she's talking to me and stuff. You know, I'm pretty, like, outgoing sometimes. So he's talking to me and says, you sound like you can sing. Sing something. So I started singing to her. I forget which song I sung. It probably at the time was Alicia Keys' song. It was everybody's favorite. And they always won me $1 at a party. And they would say, who want to sing? I won $2, $3.
$2, $3.
$2, $3, enough to get a bag of chips. But I sung that, and she said, oh my gosh, stay here. So she runs back to get her dad. He's the CEO of this studio. They're looking for, at this time, a 4th member of a girl group that someone by the name of Ali Hyman actually put together. And I auditioned. He didn't like me at first. I think he told me to audition with Twinkle Twinkle Little Star or something like that. But then I started to grow on him. And then I just became a part of the group. Yeah, it was that.
Now, I know a lot of people, when they be in groups, they like, is a bunch of personalities, mood swings. Did you have to go through that?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
But, you know, I told you I come from a big family, so I probably didn't pay it that much mind.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? It was only 4 of us all together. I was the firecracker, you know, personality-wise. Okay. I was like the Cisco of the group. Everybody else was, you know, because I had the personality. It was always that. And everybody was chill. Like, we all had a vision. And I think our manager did a good job at reminding us what the vision was, because as long as we remember that the vision was bigger than us, then we kind of like tethered to that, and we didn't interfere with that.
Now, what happened to the group? Like, did you guys like split apart, or it just, you know, kind of like faded away?
So, 2 things. At this time, we're not a group. We started off as 4 members like a decade ago. Right. And then it dwindled down to 3. And then we changed like the 3rd person like twice or 3 times, right? Every time we were on the brink of a deal, of getting signed, of talking to big investors, you know, because at the time, girl groups were like a commodity. Nobody really wanted to be a group. So to see at the time a female Jodeci, you know, we coined ourselves the bad girls of R&B. So we were like, we really sang. We didn't use like filters when we sang. We were really off the cuff with it. And young too. And every time we were on the brink of something big, somebody would leave. And then at some point we got fed up, and me and one other girl just stayed together. We became a duo. We rocked that out for a little while. And then one day I just woke up and was like, what is something that you should be doing that you're not doing? And the answer that came was acting. Wow. And so I decided to follow that track. It started moving faster than I ever imagined. You know, at this time I have a music manager, but I don't have anyone managing my acting career. It's just me. Right. And it's like moving twice as fast as my music career was. So I was more booked and busy than I anticipated. And it started to be obvious what I was passionate about. And I started to learn about myself too. Because at this time, I'm thinking, oh, I'm going to be a singer. I'm going to be the next Anita Baker. I'm going to be Mary J. Blige. You know, I got these boots on, you know. And no, I just wanted to be a storyteller, whatever that story was, you know, because I thought back. I'm like, you always wrote, you know. And then you stumbled into singing. But at the heart of it, you always loved not recording, not rehearsals. You loved performing. You know, I love bringing the story to life, whatever those lyrics were. I liked performing it. And then when I found acting, I'm like, oh, this is how I really bring that storytelling out, because now I can become every other crazy person that I've ever imagined being in real life. And I get to live a life that I've never had through a script every few months, which is exciting to me. You think about it.
Now, when it come to acting, did you take classes, had to go to school for that? Like, how did that become?
So I like to say I've been technically acting my entire life.
Okay.
Right? Because you figure if you're a musician, at the time, I'm doing everything musically. I'm writing treatments, I'm writing songs, I'm putting together ideas. So I think I lost my thought. I figured your question just that fast.
Well, how did the acting become? Like, did you go to school? And
Yeah,
things
so
like
I
that?
didn't go to school for it.
Okay.
But the type of person that I am, I want to make sure that I'm the best at it.
Right.
So I decided to actually take a class for a few months, well, several months, I would say. And then at some point, I recognized that everything that I was being taught, I was already doing. I just didn't have a coin like term for it.
Got you.
Right. So now that I'm in this class, I'm like, I got what I came for. Right. Now I have an arsenal of tools that, if someone says do this, I know exactly what they're referring to, and then I can just do it.
Right.
But after a while, it just gets repetitive. But I would say for sure, classes are great for if you need to practice in front of an audience, for sure. But I've been a singer my entire life, so performing in front of thousands, so didn't really need that much.
Now, what's one film that you started with, the first one?
First film?
First film.
So my very first film was a short film.
Okay.
And it was a film that I had auditioned. I didn't audition for it. It was actually for the same writer and director I auditioned for, but I didn't get it. But he kept me in mind and wrote a whole story based on my audition and how I performed. So I ended up getting a role for a short film. It's called Vengeance. It's on
Okay.
YouTube. You can find it. And that was my very first short film. But then my very first feature film was when I played Jenny.
Now, with the short film, was you nervous?
No. Once you perform in front of people, you're not really, I say the only time you're really nervous is if you're not prepared. But I studied the script. I knew the
Right.
lines. Please do not judge my acting based off that very first project, because it is not the same today. It's very different.
Right.
It grew, you
Right.
know.
Every reason why I asked that is because that's a different arena.
Mhm.
You got actors and actresses that do feature films and whatever, but they can't do a stage play because the stage play is right there in the moment, and you mess up, it messed the whole show up if you can't bring it back.
Well,
you know?
stage performance is very different from film.
It is.
It is very different.
It is.
For one, you could compare theater to that of being a singer on stage, where you're actually working to get a crowd reaction.
Right.
Whereas though in film, you have to pretend no one is there, and you're performing for the camera, right? So
Right.
there's a bit more of a stillness when it comes to film.
Jenny, how did that become, and take me through that whole process?
I, to this day, love Jenny. I feel like I found myself with Jenny as an actress, right? It really challenged me. I auditioned, and I auditioned on the first day, which was a 3-day audition streak. I came on the first day, it was hundreds of people. For one, I'm like, what the heck is this? And who is this man? Who is this person? But at the time, I'm not thinking like that, because at the
Right.
time, I didn't know who Black Deniro was, right? I didn't grow up like listening to like a lot of the music at that time, and I'm not from that era. But I actually auditioned for Jenny, didn't get it. I got the role of a police
Black
officer.
ain't give you the role?
No, man, you should go check him. I got a police officer role. It was a day player role. A few lines. Grateful even still. Because you have to remember, I was doing commercials. I was doing short films at this time. So this would have been clutch either way.
Right.
So I auditioned for that, get it. And then I go back to my family. Like, oh, for real? You working with Black Deniro? And my brothers, they know him. I don't. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not into the rap.
Right.
And I'm like, all right, bet. I'm a cop. You know, I was excited. I get a call back. Make long story short, I do an audition. He says, no, you too good to be the cop. So he promotes me to be girlfriend number 2, which was Alicia,
Okay.
one of the friends of Jenny.
Right.
And then I auditioned some more with a few of the actors. And he said, I think I made a mistake. You know, he started showing my audition tape to people, and they agreed that I should be Jenny.
Wow.
It's a lot of different things that fold in and out of that. But at the end of the day, I was promoted to Jenny, and I had 3 weeks to learn the script, an entire feature film.
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
How many pages was it?
Like around 95 to 100 pages, somewhere.
That's a lot.
It was.
That's a lot. A lot of pressure.
But it challenged me, though.
Right.
And it showed me a whole different side of myself I didn't know I had. So you don't know who you are until you're pushed to a different limit. You can't really go far if you're comfortable.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You have to be pushed a little bit out of your comfort zone. But it was the best challenge I've ever had in my entire life. You know, it was a lot of emotional range. So I learned, oh, damn, I don't just be happy. I got to be crying. I got to, you know, be stressed out. You know, I got to be a little athletic a little bit. But it was good. It was good for me. It set the stage for who I am today, which is strong, bold, and passionate.
Now, when you was auditioning for that role, well, let me take it a step forward. When you got the main role, how did you dive into that character? Because you got to morph into that type of character. How did you dive into that character? What was your process? Yeah.
The most important thing for me was understanding who I was, right? Removing Kenisha from the script.
Right.
And really just understanding who Jenny was. And not just reading my lines, but reading the entire script. Not just understanding me, but understanding my relationship to the other characters. So that would also define how I act in the film.
Right.
And I found that I was a naive girl who just wanted to be loved and didn't understand what that looked like. And so she found it in another person. And I found one of the tricks to be, there are some points in which you can compare yourself to a character to see what naturally, you know, comes out of that person. So you don't have to like try too hard. You can just be you, you know, and I like that. There were a lot of elements about her that were similar to me. But I just had to understand her. I had to understand her, and that was the process.
A lot of people, got the misconception of when Tupac played in Juice, they thought that was who he was because he played it so well.
Yeah.
Now with Jenny, did you have to process of getting out of that character where it kind of like trickled down into your actual lifestyle?
When I accepted the role of Jenny, I wasn't that girl anymore, right? So I had to go through a memory recall, if you will. And no, I just had to remember a few things. And we've all been through relationships that were, you know, trying, that you wanted something that you couldn't get, that you felt like you were losing yourself in a relationship. And I felt there were a lot of qualities from, I would say, yesterday that made me similar to her. But no, I didn't have to dig too deep at the time.
Now, with these films, you know, how do you strategically pick them? Because I know it's some people that are like, yo, hey, I just want to get my name out there, my face out there. Do you say yes and no to certain projects?
Okay. So when I first started out, right, it was very important that I audition for everything,
Right.
that I accept everything so that I can understand what I like and what I don't like. Nothing ever going against my integrity or what I felt. I never want to look at myself and be uncomfortable. There have been moments like that, but that's because I've evolved as a person, you know. So my morals as I got older started to change. But for the most part, no, at the time, you got to audition for everything. And you can't be picky, right? Today, no. I don't accept every role. I pick and choose them because yesterday's price is not today's price. You know, I definitely worked for the spot that I sit in today. Right. I put in a lot of work. I did a lot of research, and I'm always growing as a student in film. Right. So no, I don't accept every role because I know my brand and I know what I'm strong at. I know my strengths. I know my weaknesses. And I can look at a script in 5 seconds and say, nah, that ain't for me. You know, the comma is in the wrong part of this. You ain't use grammar right. Nah, you ain't use Grammarly. Nah.
Right.
You know, it's simple stuff like that. You know, if my name Bonquisha, nah, I don't know.
Bonquisha?
I don't want my name to be Bonquisha. You know, can I get a Lisa? Can I get a Sarah or something? Can I get a Kenisha? I want somebody to write that in the script. But no, I'm not at that space anymore.
Now, what's your letdown speech?
I cannot accept it at this time.
Ooh.
If they want further details, it just doesn't go with my brand. A prime example, I have a cool friend.
Okay.
He said, "Oh, Kenisha, I think you should audition for this role." All right, but you're not gonna lead me astray, are you? I get in the call, I see the script, I'm going through the character. I'm like, no, this ain't it. It went against everything that I'm building towards. Like, it's just pulling me back several steps, I'm not trying to be walking around and no lingerie, smoking weed. That's just not my brand. To each his own, but that's not my brand. You see what I'm saying? Like, watch my movies. You'll see exactly what my brand is. But no, I was not doing that. The guy said, it's going to be in New York, blah, blah, blah.
Hype
That's
it up.
fine. That's fine. Megabus is really nice. Okay? Actually, the seats felt great last time I sat, but I'm not going there.
Right.
No, respectfully, no. Why not? It's just, I'm not doing it. That's just not my brand. That's not what the stories I'm trying to tell. I'm a storyteller first. If I'm not feeling the story, I can't convincingly tell it.
Right.
It's going to be obvious.
Now, I know, some actresses and actors that, they audition for certain roles for films, short films, feature films, whatever. And sometimes, the production team, get them into doing things they wouldn't traditionally do, where they compromise, sometimes their integrity, their image, and things like that. Have you ever had to run into that?
No, because most times they'll let you know up front what it is. But I say it's really important to really be vocal about what makes you comfortable and uncomfortable. I'm never going to want to be uncomfortable while I'm working. It's just not happening. So I like to sleep at night. I like to be proud of the work that I do. Now, mind you, it might be people who want to do that and they're proud of their work. That's fine.
Right.
A prime example I like to use all the time, and that keeps me grounded, is Angela Bassett. When she was offered the role of Monster Ball, she turned it down.
She turned it down.
She turned it down.
Halle Berry.
She turned it down and gave it to Halle Berry. Halle Berry did an exceptional job. Right? Because Halle Berry felt as though that was a role for her. Angela Bassett stuck to what she felt worked for her, and that wasn't her brand. And so that's just me. If it don't fit, I'm not doing it, because I know I'm good at what I do. And if you gave me a role being a janitor that sung songs like Anita Baker, cleaning 10 flights of stairs, I'm going to be that character and I'm going to do it really well. But just know I'm not doing what I don't want to do.
Right, right, and I respect that.
Hmm.
In this industry, it's what have you done for me lately type of industry. You know, um, as a consumer, if they not like a core fan of the actor that's on the screen, they tend to forget them. How do you keep yourself relevant within this industry?
That's a very good question. I don't do it for the people. I do it for the craft.
Right,
So anytime I'm on camera, I'm going to prepare like no other, right? I'm not just going to read a script and then show up on set. I'm going to study the environment. I'm going to study the history. I'm going to listen to music that relates to it. I'm going to go to places so that I can literally physically breathe, smell, and touch the things that I'm going to be, encompassing when I'm in that role.
right.
You know, you can't please everybody. You can't. And I'll tell you something. I don't please myself. I wish I could always, you know, make myself 1,000% happy and proud. But I'm a flawed human being. So if I can't please me 1,000% of the time, I don't think I really care about the nations.
Right,
You
right,
know what I'm
right.
saying? Like I don't really care about pleasing other people. I just want to do great work. And that's just all I want to do. When you see me, that's what you're going to see.
Is there ever been a time, while you was acting that it brought you back to a moment in your childhood?
Yes. So anytime I'm dealing with, there was this one particular project where I dealt with someone, like losing someone, and I wouldn't say I was triggered, but I definitely had some things in me that related to that. Like I lost my two brothers when I was very young,
Right.
right, to the streets. They weren't street dudes the whole time. I mean, it's a common story today too, where people just dropping like flies for no reason. But yeah, I think about the loss of my two brothers. I was very young. I was 10, going on 11. So
Wow.
like, just imagine your heart being ripped out of your chest, and having to perform in similar environments and scenarios and have to hold yourself together. But that's what preparation and just professionalism looks like. And you have to perform in this craft and not lose yourself. You know, I used to get so caught up in my roles that I brought them home. But I developed and I found technique that allowed me to live my life and
Right.
just leave my role on set.
Have it ever been a film that you wish you was a part of, but it didn't necessarily work out?
Always. I mean, there are certain roles, certain auditions I did that I was like, oh, you know, I prepared for, and I'm like, I guess I just didn't get it. But I ain't beat myself up about it though.
Right, right,
I ain't beat myself up about it because it's so many different variables as to why you don't get chosen for a role. You might be too short, you might be too much for the person you be on screen with, right? You might not have the voice. At the time they may see that your hair, like for example, I have long hair, but
right.
my headshots are short hair. So that's all they want to see you as if you audition. Let's just say I get a last minute audition, I got long hair. It's hard for casting directors to see the short hair for
Right,
some reason.
right.
It could be a variable. It could be various things,
I
but
I always tell people your first impression is your best impression.
mhm.
You got guys like Denzel Washington. We're used to seeing him play the hero. So the moment that he played the villain in Training Day, we was like shell shocked. Like, what in the world? Is
Mm.
there a specific genre, horror, sci-fi, drama, that you really, really want to pinpoint in your career?
This, I think I already achieved it.
Okay.
In What's Done at the Dark. I've always wanted to do a psycho thriller. And I would say that one stretched me too. If I thought Jenny did, that one really stretched me. I was production manager. I was the lead. You know, I had to pull from emotional. I was just emotionally disturbed. And that was a really good movie because there was the dynamic of happy, friendly, you know, but then having to go into dark places.
Right.
You know.
Right.
And
how long did you guys you know, film that film?
I
actually just seen that earlier.
Well, what did you think?
I like it.
Do you think I'm an imposter? Am I telling the truth in this interview?
It was definitely mind-boggling.
It was.
It was definitely mind-boggling. I like the type of films where they have that thing where you got to think about it, you know, and that's what that film, you know, gave me. You know, definitely did your thing in that.
I appreciate it.
Definitely did your thing.
Yeah, I like those are the type of roles I like to play.
Right.
I like to play those roles where like you don't see it coming. I love twists. I love those mind benders. I like being the person. This might sound crazy, but I like playing deceptive characters.
Okay.
Because I feel like there's more dynamic in the personality, right?
Right.
You know, there's that first impression, but then there's that other side that you don't see coming.
Right.
So, yeah.
The first time that you seen yourself on the big screen, Jenny. Now, come on. Did you see yourself and say like, "Damn, I'm really out there"?
I think I was asked this question before.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think it really hit me though when it was in the theater. You know, I saw myself on TV before.
Okay.
Yeah, but like news, commercials, you know, stuff like that. But I'd never seen it in the theater. But it still didn't hit me. Now what hit me was when it was on streaming platforms and like 24 hours a day you would just pull up your movie and people from around, you know, the United States would be like, "Hey, I saw you," or and stuff like that. Or people would DM me and say, "Hey, I liked your performance." Some creepy people too. But I'm gonna let that rest.
Oh man. So now on I like one thing that I like about your social media, and I'm just gonna keep it to the IG. You got a mystique about you. So you know how everybody put their life, if they eat a bowl of cereals on there. You have a mystique thing about you, and a lot of the you know, entertainers, they either lost that or they're losing that, and it's getting very diluted. You know, and on your IG, you show all of your stuff that you know, your films, your film projects that you put out and things like that, but you still have a mystique thing about you. What's that all about?
Interesting. I think I'm just a mysterious person in general.
Okay.
You know, sometimes I don't even know me. I had to knock on the mirror and say, "Hey, girl, who are you today?" No, in all seriousness, though, I keep it to the brand. Right. And I think consumers are like pulled from the right and to the left. They're all over the place. I like to keep them focused on one thing. And I do various things on my social media, but it all tailors back to the film and the entertainment and stuff like that. But you get to know my personality and stuff like through my stories, you know.
Would you do Law and Order?
Yes, I definitely would. And
I can see
it's coming.
You on there.
It's coming.
I can see you on there.
It's coming. Yeah.
Let me ask you something. If today, if you was to lose everything, what's one person that you would call that'll put you right back on track and give you the greatest advice to change your mindset of the current situation that you facing? I had to get it.
I don't like this question. I really don't like this question because I don't want nobody watching this interview to be offended. Do they have to be like
one person?
Do they have to be in the fourth dimension?
Well, they can't be in the fifth. That
mean,
one person. I'm
that
calling
would
my
make
mama.
me. That would make. See, the thing is, everybody is just. It's a little bit of everybody that, because I'm so like complex, there's a little piece of me that I can name probably like 3-4 people that will tap into that.
Right.
But they won't tap into all the things. They'll tap into the one, I'm sorry, I can't answer that question.
Hold
But
up.
I mean, for real,
Go ahead.
I'm gonna just leave it to the Lord. Nobody can get mad at the Lord. You get mad at the Lord, that's on you. That's you and him. Yeah, we gonna leave it like that.
Oh my goodness. So in your field, for an up and coming actress, and I'm gonna keep it to the females, what is one piece of advice that you would give them?
To the females?
Yep, to the females. And I want you to answer it on the terms of, hey, look out for this, watch out for that.
There is this concept called the casting couch, where directors or men would try to manipulate young women
Right.
into doing certain things and saying, hey, this is what you need to do to get the part. And I know it happens. It never happened to me.
Mm-hmm.
But I know during auditions, women would be asked to, hey, it's a topless role, so we want to see how it looks. You know, I always say, do not ignore your gut. Do not ignore your intuition. I think as women, that's just what we're gifted with.
Right.
And, you know, to ignore it is to just completely just, you just really are just winging it. But I would say, get everything in writing. Get everything in writing.
Right.
Please don't call me. If you do call me, can you write out in an email, or I'll even follow up in an email, everything we articulated in this call,
Exactly.
I want everything in writing, and just tell your closest folks about your comings and goings. Let them know where you at. Turn your location on, especially, I do a lot of traveling now, as an actress. I'm blessed to be doing that now.
Right.
Wasn't before. I told you yesterday's price, not today's price. But I turn my location services on. I turn my location on.
Right.
Because, don't play.
I tell some of the actresses that I know, when you go out for the auditions, bring somebody that's close to you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Even if it's that person that's going to hold your pocketbook, bring somebody that's close to you, that got your best interest, and they not starstruck. So if you go and audition for a Tyler Perry, they're not going to be so starstruck to see Tyler Perry versus
exactly
helping and protecting you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and ask. I always like to ask, is it a completely closed set? Right. And then if it is, well, can my acting coach come? And then that'll be one of my friends, or my partner, that'll be just that. But I'm going to ask. Right.
Have it ever been a time where you said, yo, you know what? It's a little bit too much. I'm ready to give up. I'm ready to do something else.
No.
It's no plan B, Z, none of that?
You have to understand, I got about 3 degrees, right? I climbed the corporate ladder. Right? And senior manager, executives in different businesses, nonprofits. I gave all that up for film. I left it. I turned it away. 6-figure jobs. Wow. I left. I turned it away because I'm losing sleep over things I'm not passionate about a job or a company that could let me go today or tomorrow. That if I say, hey, I have an audition, y'all don't even tell me it's okay. Y'all say, well, put in some time. No, you're not going to tell me to put in no time. This is my time. I got a little bit of time left. I'm going to start acting. And I turned away from it. And since then, there have been people who reached out to me and said that was the best decision you ever made, and I see it's working for you. So keep going, don't quit. Never, ever did I ever think about giving up on my passion. Ever.
That takes a lot of guts, a lot of courage, because there's a lot of people out here that got talent, but they don't have the balls to quit their job and pursue their dream. That takes a lot of courage.
It does. And in today's society, you don't even need talent. You just have to have balls and guts.
Right.
That sounds really crazy together. Gosh, that wasn't. Nah, can we cut this
Hold
out?
on, do you play the pause game? No.
I'm sorry.
I never met a female that
I'm not all the way mature. No, in all seriousness, though, you really have to be bold.
Right.
I coined myself strong, bold, passionate, because that's how I live my life in every decision, in every role that I take, in every role that I, pursue. That's
Right.
just who I am.
Right.
So accept it or not.
Now, do your personal life ever bleed into your acting life?
All the time.
Okay.
All the time. This is the part where I say I'm evolving, as a person.
Okay.
You know, because for anyone watching, the most important thing in this life is family. You have a partner, that's your number one priority. And sometimes, I've lived a career where it was always just me first,
right.
And I got to do me. I got to meet this person. I got to fly over there. I got to blah, blah, blah. But when you have a family, and you're building, you cleave to your husband, you cleave to your wife or whatever, it's about them. And
right.
sometimes I still struggle with that. I have to remind myself, okay, this time, this day is delegated simply for your family, and whatever you want to do, you have to put it off, which is called sacrifice. And I'm learning that still.
How do you connect to your fans?
I connect with them by I was going to say, listen, yo, I feel like my tribe finds me. All right. I'm really, I don't know. Sometimes I'm quirky. Sometimes I'm mystique.
Right.
But people like me though. But I know all together I'm motivating and I'm just genuine.
Right.
So I connect with them by just being down to earth, Sometimes it's a time for being polished and stuff like that. That's just who I am. That's the life I come from. Wanting to be that newscaster years ago.
Right.
But most times it's just being real. Like, I let people know I'm from North. It's like, it's only but so much you want to, get.
Right. Now, I got this thing that I ask people, that's from an area called Uptown, right? Where do it start? Where do it end?
Mm-hmm.
You're from North, Cumberland.
Okay.
Where do North Philly start and where do it end?
I don't know.
That's honest.
I don't know. I really don't. I'm from North, but I stayed in the house.
Right.
I was writing and reading, okay? I stayed out the streets.
Right.
And people don't even know I'm from North. They thought I was lying. They probably looked me up just to see if I'm telling the truth. But I really didn't explore.
Yeah.
I went to and from, and that's it.
It's a lot of actors that's out here. A lot of people, especially with Tubi and stuff like that, man. You know what I'm saying? I seen a lot of movies on Tubi, and them things is laughable. It's laughable.
Yeah.
When you're going into a set, and say for instance you said, okay, well, I like this script, right? Are there certain things that you look for from the production, like is they using like Sennheiser mics? Is they using Sony cameras? Like, do you look at that because you want the best image for the role?
Let me tell you something. I came a long way in terms of acting, right? But I'm still in the independent film space.
Okay.
And a lot of independent filmmakers don't have the high quality equipment. It's how you carry yourself. It's how you carry the production.
Right.
It's how the rehearsals look. Are people drinking and smoking on set? I don't want to be a part of that because then we're not on time with anything. Nobody's taking anything serious. Is the script really a script or is it just words on paper? When we're actually on set, is anybody using the script or we're just improvising? All those things make a difference, but I'm not waiting up until film day to discover that. I'm learning from conversation what that sounding looks like. I'm asking, is it 1-shoot camera, 2-shoot camera? Now I know how to move, what time we're working with, stuff like that.
Right.
But no, I'm never waiting to the day of shooting to discover that the project ain't for me. But never judge an independent film maker because, this is the age where independent filmmakers are winning.
Right. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in the sense of filmmaking, you are behind the camera too.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you, choose to go that, in that position?
Well, I started off in Jenny, then I got casted for Dope Girls, and I got casted for What's Done at the Dark, right? And then I got casted for Access. After each project, it was a build in terms of discovering, oh, she's a great actress, and she also has other skill sets.
Right.
So once you trust someone to work on the back end of things, like calling talent, getting them to sign documents, just the whole overall of managing talent, managing the production crew from start to finish, then it's just natural for you to be promoted into greater roles. Like, Black saw something
Right.
in me, and once he discovered I was smart, he said, all right, you got it. And now I'm vice president, so.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah.
I like that. That. Now, speaking of Access, for those that don't know, what role did you play?
I played Lakeisha Billman. I was one of the bank tellers. It was more of a supportive role.
It's almost close to Kenisha.
It is. It is. So dreams do come true. Dreams do come true.
Okay.
Yeah, I played a more supportive role, which was good for me.
Yeah. How long did that you guys take to shoot that?
Oh, 9 days.
9 days.
Yeah, I think we spent about 6 days in the bank.
Okay.
And then like 3 days outside the bank or something like that. Yeah.
Morning, noon, and night.
Yeah, like between 9 to 10 days max.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. It's certain films. I believe they shot Jurassic Park. It took them about a year. To shoot. And it's all about scheduling.
Yeah.
That's one thing I learned. That
another thing. Yeah.
Having everybody, scheduled at the same day is, it could be kind of stressful.
Yeah, communication has to be sharp, and just you being able to project manage all of that in their schedules and managing that. But I'll say for movies like Jurassic Park, that's like Hollywood filmmaking, and
a lot of green screen.
A lot of green screen, and we're kind of a year is like actually getting better for Hollywood,
right?
Because now you talk about films, like the goal is like 7 to 10 days. You don't really need that many days anymore to shoot film.
Nope. Long as you got a dope script, actors.
Yeah. That's why for independent filmmaking, we're blowing up.
What's the downside of the film industry?
The downside?
For you.
For me. The downside is that you never know which is going to be a breakout film and project.
Right.
Like, Jay, right?
Yeah.
You see me now, but you may not see me later. I am a force to be reckoned with. I am very competitive in this space, in myself. I believe in myself. I know I'm credible. I not only work in independent film, but I've worked in union projects with all different types of people.
Right.
From beginner level to Hollywood level. And the consistency is still the same.
Right.
You are something. They just don't know what to coin it. But they're even anxious to see me, no disrespect to this couch, off this couch and on a major film, because they know what they're dealing with. And I know who I am. I just don't pop. What they say? Pop.
Pop.
Hold
on, Kenisha, hold on. We the biggest. All right.
Point blank, period. No, I'm saying like in terms of film.
Right.
Like you're just meeting me for the first time, but it would have been even more like special if you would have said, "Oh, I know who you are." You know,
Mm-hmm.
that time is to come. That time will come.
Yeah, I know who you are.
I know who I am.
Right.
And I'm warning you. And I'm warning everybody out there in the world that yesterday's price is not today's price. You know, I grind. Like, I audition at minimum 10 times a week. At minimum. Like, I'm getting things sent to me. I want you to audition for this. I want you to audition for that. And it's like, I'm still auditioning for things, although I'm good.
Right.
So I'm humble, but I also know that at any moment now, I could be out of here. And I will be out of here. So I just wanted you to know, because I want us to hug after this. You may not ever see me again.
Dang, you gonna go Hollywood on us?
Listen, I'm gonna let you in.
Hey,
I'm gonna let you
I
in.
ain't never heard nothing like this.
I'm gonna let you in, you know. Be in Calabasas somewhere, but you know, if you could fly
I'm
over
in the
there.
crowd like, yo, Kenisha from my bus.
You know what I'm saying? We ID. I don't trust you. We ID. I'm from North.
She like, Untold who? What?
The untold story is that I'm going to be in this seat again, blessing the stage.
Yes.
And it's going to be a reunion, and you're going to say, you're right.
I already see a superstar, you know, and you could tell by your acting how serious you take your craft.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't see the same character when I look at other films. You know, it's different. And you look like a person that reinvents yourself. You don't stay on the same dimension.
Yeah.
You reinvent yourself. And that's a lot. That's why I went to that Denzel question. Because you got Morgan Freeman, he played the same role, you know, and even if it's a different type of role, he looked like the same role, you know, no disrespect. When I see you, I can see the long hair, the short hair. I can see this person playing this type of role where she look kind and sweet, and then she do a 360 on you, you know. So, you know, it's what's the right word? It's convincing, you know. And it's not the same, and you always reinvent yourself. So I won't see you in this format 5-10 years from now. You know, I'm gonna see you on a bigger format. You know, but just remember, as little people.
No, ain't nobody little. You know, and I'm grateful. It takes a lot out of me to say those things, but you know, there comes a point in your career where you have to be bold, and you know when they say put it out there so that it can happen. You know, I put it out there because I know I'm not going to let up. And I know this is where I'm at, and I'm not going to stop until I get there.
Now, what are you working on now?
Currently, right now, I just wrapped up a feature film called Switch, where it's a Black Deniro.
Okay.
I just finished wrapping up that. I did about 3 projects after that.
Right.
And they're still in post-production. Right now, I'm giving back to aspiring and returning actors through a 3D acting workshop called Start Strong, Act Bold.
Dope.
And it's a 3-day workshop. Each day encompasses something different about just like trailblazing this industry, from giving a real true performance the second day, the audition and mastering that.
Right.
And then the part that most actors do not get is about the business, and they don't know how to streamline and navigate it. Right. So you don't necessarily need an agent or manager if you know these things that I'm going to be coaching in the 3-day workshop.
Now, Kenisha, when and I'm speaking from an aspiring actress, if she say, well, they offered me $5,000, right? Would you tell her, oh, take the $5,000, you got paid for it? Or would you tell her, not only to take the $5,000, but make sure your paperwork is good so you could forever get longevity money?
So I don't know what this project is.
Okay.
You know, just $5,000 might sound good to someone who needs it at the time, but definitely always negotiate what works for you. Because at the moment, $5,000 just from the top and just leaving might work. You know, like most people from Friday, right? Got $5,000 checks, and that worked for them, right? Because it was about the opportunity.
Right.
That's why I'm saying, like, what are the circumstances? You know, if it's like you want to create generational wealth and you want a percentage of the film and you want royalties and all that good stuff, then yeah, set it up. You know?
I'm glad you said Friday, because a lot of people don't know Friday really didn't have a budget. And if it did, they did probably 25 grand, and that was split between everybody. And they actually filmed that project on the same block, 3 houses. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But at that moment, I don't believe not even Ice Cube knew that they was gonna make a hood classic.
Didn't know. And that's the you ask what is the downside to this industry, you just never know. It's like whack-a-mole.
Right.
You just wherever, you see an opportunity, you take it, you seize it, and that could be the opportunity that'll change your entire life.
Wow. My last question. What's one thing no one know about you, but they should?
Come on, Mr. Interviewer.
Got him. I got him, man.
Goodness. What is one thing people should know about me? Dang.
Listen.
I'm trying to think of things I've never said in my entire life, because I feel like we covered everything. From me being a singer and actress and stuff like that.
But one thing, and they should know this about you. Don't worry, we got Akon stuck right there.
Listen, I don't think I have an answer for that. I really don't think I do.
Do you cook?
Yes, of course. I cook. And
Hold up.
Honey,
can you cook?
Yes, I can.
What's your favorite dish? Real fast, go.
Cajun turkey wings.
Ooh.
Cajun baked turkey wings, yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta tell the wife, Cajun turkey wings. You gotta tell me the recipe.
I got you. I wish I knew that answer, but I'm stumped.
You know what? Because you're gonna spin the block and you're gonna come back.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna ask you that same question. And you're gonna forget that. No.
Yeah.
Nobody forgets that question. But you're gonna have an answer.
I guess if I can, in a nutshell, just give an answer.
Go ahead.
I may be talented, I may be quirky, I may be all these things you saw today, but my whole life embarks on helping other people. That's really my entire baseline for everything that I do.
Right.
And my goal in life is to be selfless. Right? I think acting and film is just an avenue of those things. Music was just an avenue of those things, but I won't feel like I've achieved anything unless I've been selfless and really impacted people in a positive way.
Right.
So I think I want people to understand that the only way you can grow is when you give back, you sacrifice.
I know I said this is my last question, but I got one last question. Any family members ever come up to you like, yo, cuz I act, what's up? Put me in the role.
All the time.
Now, hold on. What's your Hollywood answer? What you tell them?
Yeah, man, you come to the audition. Just, you know what I mean? Just hit me up. Just hit me up on Instagram.
Give them the Barnell Hill.
Just hit me up. Please just hit me up. Because
oh my goodness.
A lot of people want handouts, man. I'm so tired.
Yeah.
I'm so tired. I work for this.
Yeah.
But yeah.
How is it working with Black Deniro?
Amazing, because we're both animals.
Okay.
I think we're both animals in our own right. You know, like he's from that hustle, mentality, don't quit, hence won't quit ENT Inc.
Right.
And me, I'm just a high achiever. Like I just want to accomplish, I just want to cross off things on the list, and it's nothing too far for me. If you say this is what we're going to do, I'm going to keep doing what I need to do to get there. But no, we're like one and the same. Okay. And I think that's why we work so well together.